Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, there was a very wealthy sea merchant who owned a magnificent house and lived there with his three daughters. The merchant was so rich, he made sure that his three girls had everything they wished for, whatever the cost. Unfortunately, his two elder daughters became lazy and spoiled. Day after day, they demanded more and more expensive gifts, and if they didn't get what they wanted, they sucked until they did. His younger daughter was quite different. She asked for nothing at all except the love of her dear father. He had fondly named her Beauty when she was small. She meant so much to him. This made the elder sisters jealous. They teased Beauty about her name, laughing at her because she enjoyed music and books and tending to her father's lovely gardens. They were only interested in parties and dancing and cared for no one except themselves. Why they stay at home every night wasting your time on boring books and dull music when you could be out having fun? They tented. In the evening, when Beauty was at home with her father, he would tell her about his fleet of trading ships that sailed the oceans, and how the rich courtiers they brought back had made him so wealthy. Beauty loved to hear her father talk and tell stories. She was so proud of him, for he was a very clever and successful man. One morning, a messenger arrived bringing dreadful news. Every one of the merchant's great ships had been wrecked during fierce storms, and their valuable cargoes had sunk to the bottom of the sea. Overnight, the merchant had lost his fortune. We must move from this grand house, sighed the merchant. My money is gone, and all I have left is a small farm in the country. Then we are lucky indeed, cried Beauty cheerfully. With a little land we can grow our own vegetables. We will keep chickens and maybe a cow. We shall move there right away, said the merchant, smiling at Beauty. No one will starve, and we shall have a roof over our heads. We are lucky indeed, my dear. And so it was. The merchant and his family lived together in the tiny farmhouse for a whole year. The two elder daughters hated the country, and they complained each time they were asked to do the smallest task. Beauty, on the other hand, enjoyed her new life. She learned how to cook, she grew all sorts of vegetables, and cared for all the animals. Then one day the merchant received some marvelous news. One of his ships was not lost at sea after all, but had sailed safely into a port nearby. The merchant was overjoyed. I must go and claim it immediately, he told his three daughters. When I sail the cargo, we shall be rich once more. The merchant promised to bring back lots of expensive presents. This made his two eldest daughters dance up and down with excitement. I don't need a gift, said Beauty as she kissed her father goodbye. Pick a lovely pink rose and give it to me on your safe return. When the merchant reached the port, his joy quickly turned to despair. The thieves had stolen the valuable cargo and then set fire to his ship. When the merchant headed back home that night, it grew so dark and stormy. He took a wrong turn in the road and lost his way. Strange howling noises come from the woods nearby. Shadowy shapes darted around him, and pair of glowing eyes peered out from the gloom. The terrified merchant ran for his life. All of a sudden the rain stopped, the storm passed, all was peace and quiet. The merchant could only gaze in astonishment. In front of him stood the most magnificent castle with lights shining from every window. He how relieved Beauty's father was. Perhaps here he could find a night's shelter, for above the open door of the castle was written, "Enter, weary traveller, and welcome." Once inside, the merchant searched through many splendid rooms but found no one. The castle seemed empty. In one of the rooms a fire was burning brightly, and a table was set with feast fit for a king. The hungry merchant helped himself to the delicious food. In corner was a comfortable bed, so he lay down and fell fast asleep. On waking next morning, the merchant was amazed to discover a fine suit of clothes to replace his own. Breakfast had been laid on the table. When he had eaten, the merchant went outside and found a bush covered with pink roses growing by the wall. He remembered his promise to Beauty, but as he reached to pick a bloom, there was a tremendous roar. To the merchant's horror, a ferocious looking creature came bounding toward him. "How dare you steal my roses?" growled the beast, and he snarled at the trembling merchant. "I have given you food and shelter. You have repaid me by stealing my precious roses. Now you must die." The merchant begged for forgiveness. "Please don't kill me, sir. The rose I picked is for the youngest of my three daughters." The beast listened carefully, and when he heard about Beauty, he made a very strange bargain with the merchant. "I will spare your life, however. You must promise that after a month you will bring back one of your daughters to stay with me. She must come willingly, or you must return to die." Hastily the merchant gave his word, although he had no intention of keeping it. "Go now," the beast commanded. "Take this gift of gold and jewels to your family." The merchant felt suddenly tired and closed his eyes. When he opened them, he was back home. As soon as the two elder daughters saw all the treasures, they were delighted, but their joy turned to sorrow as their father gave Beauty her rose and told his awful tale. The minute Beauty heard of her father Suleiman's promise, she knew it had to be kept. "You are not going to die," she told him. "Take me back to stay with the beast, for I cannot let you break your vow." So 1 month later, Beauty and her father set off. Strangely, the journey seemed to take no time at all. "What a perfectly lovely place!" Beauty gasped as the castle came into view. Quaking with fright, the merchant led Beauty inside. Just as before, the castle seemed deserted. There were no servants, although a table had been set for two in the grand hall. All of a sudden a door opened, and in strode the beast. "You are welcome here, Beauty," he said in gruff but kind voice. "Did you come of your own free will?" "I did, sir," whispered Beauty. The beast turned to the merchant and said sternly, "Now you must go home," and he left the room. But when he had gone, the poor girl began to cry as she wandered through the castle alone and frightened. Before long she came to a door with the words "Beauty's room" written on it. Imagine her surprise when she stepped inside. It was a room fit for a princess. On the table by the bed, the beast had placed a magic mirror. As she turned it round. Beauty read, there is no need for you to fear. Dear Beauty, you are welcome here. Use this mirror as you may. You every wish will obey. This made Beauty feel better. Beauty soon lost her fear of the beast and began to enjoy her new life. She read books and played music, and in the afternoon she walked with the beast. In the magnificent castle gardens, every day the beast asked Beauty the same question: Beauty, will you marry me? Although she had grown very fond of the beast, Beauty would always shake her hand in reply. One morning, as the Beauty happened to look into the magic mirror, she glimpsed her father looking very sick. Straight away, she begged the beast to allow her to go home. The beast heaved a great sigh. You may go, but I fear you will never return, and I shall die of grief, said the beast sadly, and as he handed Beauty a magic ring. If of your own free will you decide to return to me, you only have to blow on this ring. Beauty felt suddenly tired and closed her eyes. When she opened them, she found herself back home with her father. The merchant was overjoyed to see his dear daughter and felt better at once. The two were so happy to be together again. The week that followed just flew by. Then one night Beauty dreamed she was walking in the castle gardens, and there, lying quite still on the ground, was the beast. My poor beast is dead because I have not returned, cried Beauty the next morning. Quickly she reached for the magic ring, closed her eyes, and blew on it gently. In less than a moment she was back in the castle gardens, kneeling beside the beast. I promise I will never leave you again, sobbed Beauty. Dear beast, please don't die. When the beast heard Beauty's kind word, he opened his eyes and whispered, Beauty, will you marry me? Straight away Beauty answered, Yes, dear beast, I will marry you. As she said this, a great crash was heard. Music filled the air, and hundreds of glittering lights shone. In that instant, the beast changed into a handsome prince. Beauty was too startled to speak as the prince stood before her. Beauty, dear Beauty, you have set me free at last, he said, smiling at her. Long ago, a wicked enchantress turned me into a hideous beast. Only the true love of a beautiful woman would break her evil spell. When you agreed to marry me, I became a prince once more. Very soon a splendid wedding was held at the castle. Beauty and her handsome prince were married and lived happily ever after. The kind-hearted prince asked Beauty's father to live with them at the castle, and the merchant stayed there for the rest of his days. He took care of the roses in the gardens, especially the pink ones, and he made quite sure the castle door was always open to welcome weary travelers.